Welcome guys to the Meet Damien live stream. In today's live stream, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. Going on a little bit of a discount here. Going on a little bit of sale, but I did notice it was climbing right before I started the live stream. I saw it at like 70,200 and now it's at 70,500. Okay. So maybe my live stream will be the pump stream here, where Bitcoin can pump up to higher prices. Now we did see Bitcoin drop down to 69,000. I'm sorry, not loaded at $68,700 here. We did have a 21 EMA that I said, this could act as support if Bitcoin does drop down. This could act as support. You can see that we are trying to possibly close above it, get a daily candle close above it. We wicked down to it. We wicked down below it to 68,700, but we didn't stay there for too long before buyers started buying it up. Those lower prices below 70K here. And if this continues on, we could get possibly a hammer candle, which is a price reversal candle that could send us up to higher prices here. One more time. So you guys finally got a discount here on Bitcoin after we saw Bitcoin pretty much, mark up in price the last, 8 days here. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days of positive price action. And then finally, things went on sale here again for Bitcoin. But could this be another dip? About a dip opportunity before we see higher prices for Bitcoin? We did see kind of like a buy to dip opportunity back here on the first week of March here, where Bitcoin did drop down, only for us to then, retest this symmetrical triangle that I drew out here, and then actually, launch up to higher prices thereafter. Could we get something similar to that going forward into the next week? I don't know. That's one reason why we come in the charts to figure out what might come next here. We did see that Bitcoin did hit my sell zone. I was looking at Bitcoin at 75K to like 78K was an area that I thought we could possibly sell off at, and sure enough, we went up to like 76K on Tuesday, and then we sold off on Bitcoin. Okay, but why did I pick 75K up to 78K? Well, I know like around here in the beginning of February, we saw some sideways trading action, which could act as resistance at 78K. But also, if I go into the 3-day chart, we do have a 21 EMA. This white line was coming down fast and furious, and of course, it knocked us down to lower prices here. So that was sitting around like 75K when I looked at it a few days ago, and that's why I marked off 75K up to like 78K as a possible sell zone. Resistance area, and sure enough, it's acting as resistance for now for Bitcoin. So I think right now, if you're inclined to buy some cheaper Bitcoin, I mean, earlier today was the time to do it, but buying Bitcoin at 70K doesn't seem like such a bad idea if we're going to maintain this uptrend, this this little uptrend that we've been in over the last couple of weeks here. We could see Bitcoin go up to like 78K before we get knocked down again and make a higher low. And that's a good thing that I see here in the charts here, is that Bitcoin is still making higher lows, frustrating the crap out of the bears, frustrating the crap out of the short sellers here. There's not that much price action to the downside. Overall, the markets, almost every asset does climb up to higher prices if it has, anything of value. Now, I can't say the same thing about your altcoin or shitcoin that you're in. There could be no value in there, but if it does have some value, if it is able to generate some money in some fashion or hold its value, in this case, Bitcoin is supposed to hold its value because there's not that many Bitcoins out there, and they're gonna stop making Bitcoin, I think, in like 2140, like 100 years from now. We're all gonna be long gone, but there's not gonna be any more Bitcoin being created, and because of that, Bitcoin is able to retain its value, and over time, markets do end up climbing up, even in the bear market. All right, now in a bear market, you'll get some red days that viciously knock you down to lower prices, like we saw back here towards the end of January here, going into February. But if you count like the amount of days that are green versus the amount of days that are red, we actually have more green days than we have red. However, in the bear market, we do get these nasty sell-offs that do bring us down to lower levels, and then we have to climb our way back up again. Like we did back here in October and November, where we got a nasty sell-off, and then we kind of climbed back up here in December and January, only for us to come back down again. Could we get something like this similar for Bitcoin? All right, where we do climb back up, and if we do climb back up, I mean, how high could we go? There are some levels to look for. I already showed you 75 to 78K was an area that I was interested these past few days here. But also we got the 50-day moving average at 80K. And then we got the support resistance area at 84,500. Could be another area where Bitcoin could get sold off at. And then also the 100-day moving average sitting at 86K. And then we also got support resistance at $87,000 is another area where Bitcoin could, bump its head up against and actually, get knocked down and make a lower high. But that'd be a very weird looking bear flag. If this is still a bear flag, that'd be a weird looking bear flag if it actually shoots up like that. It would actually end up looking more like a U or maybe a V-shaped recovery back up to 84K and then we get knocked down. Just something to play around with in our heads here. I have marked on the charts here that 67K is another area that we could provide support. We haven't quite come down to it yet. We have been trading at 67K for quite a few weeks here, back here in February and like the first week of March. That's another support area, which I think, if the 21 EMA wasn't going to act as support, which it kind of did today, but if it doesn't, there still is some support at 67K. And that could be where we actually, believe it or not, make a higher low compared to what we did here on March 9th when we only went down to 65K. 67K is still a higher low if we have to go down to that area and get a bounce off that area. So if you're interested in trying to buy some cheaper Bitcoin, you might get an opportunity to do so at 67K. I would try to make a make a play for that if you're inclined to do that, okay? But yeah, 67K area that we traded at sideways here back here in March and middle of February. But also that was an area that we were trading at and we were paying attention to back here and all throughout like 2024. 67K was acting as support and resistance all throughout that year. Okay, and we finally launched off of that area here when Donald Trump got elected is where we were trading at. We were trading at 67K. And I think 67K should act as support for now. Okay, and if that doesn't, then there's another areas to look for. There's 63K, which we've seen act as support back here on February 28th. And then also back here, kind of like around here on February 24th. All right, 63K is an area where we do not stay there for too long before we launch back up to higher prices here. So those are levels to look at. Those are levels that I highlighted here on the chart, 67, 63K. If Bitcoin decides to take this a little bit further, but if we go down to like 63K, we would be making a lower low than what we did here back on March 9th. I still want to see Bitcoin stay above 67K because then we can make the case that we're making higher lows. Although it's not fun to see Bitcoin go to lower prices if you're invested in Bitcoin. 67K would be an area where it still makes sense for us to come down, dip our toes in there, and then jump up to higher prices and still make a higher low, frustrate the crap out of the bears, and send it to higher prices. But let me see what you guys have to say in the chat. I did a lot of talking there. Let me see what you guys have to say about things here. We got Edible Zombies in the YouTube chat saying if oil settles, we're going to get a big pump. Yeah. That would definitely help if oil prices would stop going up. You have to think about it for a second. Like, think of all your friends and family members that are gassing up at the gas pump. Do you think they have the extra money after they just gas up at the gas pump to go buy some crypto? Even if you told them like the latest and greatest crypto and one of the cryptos that you're invested in, they're gonna be like, yeah, that's great, but I can't afford gas right now. I would love to buy Solana and XRP, but how am I supposed to fill up my gas tank? So if that would, if oil would just chill out for a second there, then I think we would see a pump here on crypto because people can buy crypto instead of pumping up their gas tank. Let me see what you guys have to say here on TikTok. So we got a few people coming in. Stefano says April $90,000 Bitcoin. Ooh, that'd be very interesting. I know in April, or even like around this time here in March, there's like kind of like a narrative going around that getting their tax refunds, and that could cause the price of Bitcoin to go up if they use their tax refund to go buy some cheap Bitcoin right now. But then there's also the other narrative. If you're gonna stick with the narrative about taxes and whatnot, there are people like myself who did well in crypto last year, and we have to pay our taxes. And some of them might actually have to sell their crypto to pay their taxes. So it goes both ways as far as like, you know, that narrative about, you know, taxes in April and stuff like that. I don't know why I mentioned that. I just know like April is you know, the middle of April is when people have to pay their taxes, and that could, you know, cause Bitcoin to go down, actually, believe it or not. So I don't know about 90K, but I mean, if we climb up to 90K, then maybe we get knocked down when people have to sell their crypto to pay their taxes. What says, can you look at Sahara printing green on the daily and weekly MACD? Okay, we'll take a look at Sahara. And hello to you as well. Hey, what? All right. So I think that's going to be the first request besides Bitcoin. We could always look at Bitcoin later. But let me get into the requests. And then, you know, if you guys want to take a look at Bitcoin again, we can always do that one more time here. All right. Let's, that's my first request for today. Let me know if you guys have any other requests besides Sahara here. Other than that, we'll probably just take a look at some of the cryptos that are doing pretty well. I think I saw in the corner of my eye, I saw ZBAC doing pretty well today. Excuse me. Sahara. Looks like we can check it out here on KCEX Exchange. Currently trading at 0.027 pennies, up 9.9% today. It's having a decent day. This kind of look like a bull flag here to me, or maybe like a bull pennant. You want to be, you know, precise with your wording and patterns here. You can see here, looks like Sahara has jumped up above the 50-day moving average, and of course this 50-day moving average is kind of acting like resistance right now, preventing you from going up to higher prices. However, it looks like today we're trying to get a jump off of the 50-day moving average. Maybe we can make our way up to this 100-day moving average, sitting at 0.038 pennies here. I would mark that on your chart as a target to be taking profit on your long or whatever you're doing. If you got spot bags on Sahara, I would try to take some profit there near that 100-day moving average, because you are getting a bounce off the 50-day moving average, this green line here, and also the 21 EMA is kind of like giving you a little bit of lift off too. So yeah, I think target to the upside right now is going to be that 100-day moving average. Now let me just quickly do a Fibonacci here and give you the Fibonacci extension to the upside here. Okay, and you can see that we got a 1272 Fibonacci extension to the upside that's hanging out near 0.037. So I think this is your target to the upside, 0.0377 or 0.038. You got the 100-day moving average and this Fibonacci extension showing confluence at this area, where you should probably think about taking some profit at this area if you're interested in making some money on Sahara here. Okay, not financial advice. You can do whatever you want to do, but that's what I would be targeting as of now. I see a 100-day moving average, and I also see a Fibonacci extension hanging out that area. Now there's another Fibonacci extension area above you at the 1618 at 4.044 pennies. That's interesting. Maybe what will end up happening is this 200-day moving average, which is coming down, you know, coming down and screaming down like a bat out of hell. Maybe by the time price actually climbs up and gets up to 0.044 is when this 200-day moving average would actually be at 0.044, and you know, X marks the spot. Maybe this is where the 200-day moving average sends the price back down to lower prices. And I think, you know, you should plan on taking some more profit if we do get up to like 4 cents here on Sahara. Okay. But yeah, that's what I see here on Sahara. Just basic chart analysis using moving averages and Fibonacci here. Let's see what the momentum's doing here. Do we have momentum to go up to higher prices here with Sahara? On the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence indicator shows that we have selling pressure over the last few days. But look at this. You got a blue line curving up. Looks like you're about to get a MACD crossover to the upside, with the blue line about to cross the orange line to the upside. And then you should see some buying pressure showing up. This is interesting. Maybe I might want to take a long on Sahara, because that should give you, you know, the momentum and the juice to go up to higher prices if you see something like that. Last time you had a MACD crossover to the upside was back here in middle of February. We had the blue line cross the orange line to the upside, and of course you got those buying pressure candles showing up here. Okay. until you got the MACD crossover to the downside, and then you got the selling pressure showing up here. But now you're about to get a MACD crossover to the upside again one more time here, and you could see higher prices here for Sahara. So MACD is saying that, you know, we might be in for some good things here. Let's see what the money flow is doing here with the DeluxeAlgo indicator here. Looks like we had a green buy dot that came in Wednesday, March 18th, yesterday. I like the fact that I see money flow, which is currently in the red and in the negative here. It's starting to curve up, and if it continues curving up and going up to higher levels here, you're gonna see money flow go into green, and of course you'll probably see some higher prices for Sahara if that's the case. I also like the fact that you are making higher lows here on the momentum wave. The momentum wave is this gray stuff here, okay? And the momentum has been on the upside for Sahara here. I like the fact that you are making higher lows here. So, you know, Sahara's doing, you know, what it needs to be doing to actually go up to higher prices here. I like what I'm seeing here with Sahara. So there you go. Didn't really give you downside target, but, you know, just be on the lookout if we do, you know, sell off for whatever reason. We could come down to the green line here, the 50-day moving average, sitting at 0.023 pennies, which I think is confluent with the 0.5 retracement here. I don't know if you can see that here, but yeah, the 0.5 retracement is at 0.023 pennies. So I think, you know, 0.023 is well, you might be lucky enough to scoop up some cheaper Sahara if that's what you want to do. All right. Let's see what else I said here in the TikTok chat here. I know my schedule's been like all over the place here, guys. I did like afternoon streams the last couple of days, and then I did an evening stream on Monday. Today I'm back doing like kind of like an evening stream again. I'm in the process of moving things, and I'm getting myself ready to go to Costa Rica for next month, and I'll be there for like 3 months. So it's gonna be pretty some fun times. I'll be trying to go live at least like twice a day if I can. Where I'll go live in the afternoon, walk around with my selfie stick and my phone, and then you know, at the night during the evening streams, the nighttime streams, I'll be live on the computer looking at the charts with you guys here. So that's what I plan on doing going into next month. But there's gonna be a lot of things I need to do as far as like getting myself ready for Costa Rica, and I know like tomorrow I won't be live streaming tomorrow because I got some things I need to move around and stuff like that. And usually I don't go live on the weekends, so I guess I would say the next live stream is probably going to be on Monday or Tuesday, and I can't really give it an exact time. You know, you can catch me usually during the afternoons or the evening hours. I always put up a post here on Twitter if you guys want to follow me here on Twitter. You can find me, Damien, on Twitter here, and I usually post when I go live, and you know, say going live in 10 minutes here. And I also post up some other stuff here on Twitter as well. Okay, so you might want to come check me out here on the Meet Damien Twitter account here. Okay, and that's the handle right there, Meet Damien 21. You guys can also follow me here on Discord if you click on the link tree. And for my TikTok guys, I gotta show this to you, but if you click on the link tree here, you click on that link, and then it will take you over to the link tree for Meet Damien, where you can join the Meet Damien Discord server, which is free to join. You click on that, and then you'll be able to see me in Discord when I'm not live, and still be able to contact me, and you'll know when I go live next. We got a few people chatting in the Discord right now. Yeah, I usually post up when I go live with the announcement there, going live in like 10 minutes here. Okay. My YouTube guys, you can find that link in the description to my channel. I think you might even be able to find it in the description to this video, but it's definitely in the description to the Meet Damien YouTube channel. You'll see that link tree link right there. Okay, and you can you know, join the Meet Damien Discord either by clicking on this link here, or you can go on the link tree and get it. So that's one way to stay in contact with me here, especially when I'm like traveling and you guys don't know what's coming next here on the Meet Damien channel. It's a great way to stay in touch with me, is either through Twitter or Discord. Alright, Edible Zombie says, Solana thoughts. And then Edible Zombie likes the early streams. Yeah, you know, I'm going to try to do both. Afternoon or early morning stream and a evening stream. I'll be trying to do that 2 days, I guess, in April. And May and June as well. But we'll see. I don't want to burn myself out either. So, if it makes sense, it makes sense. But I usually will try to do at least an evening stream every evening. So we can take a look at the charts together. But yeah, I guess the afternoon, morning streams will be like bonus streams for the month of April. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at Solana for edible zombies here. Sahara looks pretty decent. I mean, it already caught a 10% move up. Maybe I might want to long Sahara myself. I'm going to have to take a look at that. I'm going to have to put that in my watch list here. I'm going to do that right now. I'm actually going to add Sahara right now to my watch list here. Let's see. Go ahead. Add Sahara, por favor. Thank you. Gracias, amigo. Alright. Alright, I added Sahara on my watch list now. I might want to trade it, just because I see some positive things here on Sahara. Let's go ahead and take a look at Solana now. Solana currently trading at $89.13, down cent today. And you know, Solana looks similar to Bitcoin, still making higher lows on the daily time frame. I think we're doing all right. As long as we continue doing that, we'll frustrate the crap out of the short sellers and the bears that are out there. If we keep pushing this candle up higher and we get higher prices here for Solana, it might turn into a hammer candle, which is usually a price reversal candle when you see that. Let me see. We I mean, this is kind of almost like a hammer candle here. You do want to see like no wick. This needs to be like no wick. But as long as the body of the candle is up top and you have a long wick to the downside, you can count that as a hammer candle. And look what happened after the hammer candle. You got a nice day coming up. Maybe that could happen here with Solana going into tomorrow. I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow, if there's going to be any good news, you know, that would, you know, benefit the markets here. But, you know, if we get a hammer candle here, just be on the lookout for, like, you know, follow through the upside where we could probably see Solana get back up into, like, the high 90s here one more time, like we saw it back here and, on Monday. $97 for Solana. So we'll see. And if that's the case, you know, look at this. Like, we're getting a nice bounce off this 21 EMA. This 21 EMA, this tight line, acting as support at $87.40. If Solana does creep back down to lower prices here, I mean, you could, you know, maybe target this 21 EMA, hopefully as support, put a stop loss, maybe $2 or $3 below it. And you're not risking too much to try and get into Solana at like $87 if we do come down to this 21 EMA one more time here. I'd be on the lookout for that. But yeah, let's see. Solana, you know, it looks like it's still making higher highs here too. So you're making higher lows and you're also making higher highs. Eventually, this could turn into like a rising channel here, where we get like if I draw like a parallel channel here. Let me see if I can draw that out. Where's my channel here? I might have to do it like this. Yeah, there we go. Parallel channel. So we could get something like this where Solana does a rising channel and just continues making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, while also making higher highs. And then maybe Solana gets knocked down from this 50-day moving average right above us at 109 bucks. Now, granted, this thing is still, you know, heading down to lower levels here. Maybe Solana creeps up to higher prices. By the time this green line comes down, I'm gonna have to extend this, you know, just to give you an idea. Like if this green line does something like this, maybe Solana climbs up, gets rejected here at like $105, $106, and then comes down to lower prices after hitting that 50-day moving average. That's something to keep in mind in the near future here for Solana. Might happen in the next couple of weeks where we might see Solana go up above 100 bucks. Before we, you know, get knocked down to lower prices again. Yes, we got Carlos. Thank you for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Tommyak is on TikTok. Says, "Hi, mate. What are my thoughts on the Solo TX merger? TX is worth 2 cents right now. I don't know much about that. Is that a stock or a crypto? Because you know, if you're saying merger, that's I'm assuming that's a stock, two companies that merge together. We don't really see too many companies or cryptos merging together. We did see like Fetch AI and I think what was it? It was like another artificial intelligence company that merged in the cryptocurrency world. Oh, it is a crypto. That's interesting. Yeah, you don't really see too many cryptos merging together. So that's a very interesting. I'm gonna have to take a look at that for you. Let me also see what else we got here for requests. Glosper says, "What do I think about BHP?" That's a stock, I believe. And then what says, "Could I check out PowerCoin?" All right, let me go ahead and write these requests down here for you guys. Ready with the marker? There we go. All right, so we gotta look at power at some point. BHP, I believe, did come in before this request for Solo. But yeah, what's the ticker symbol for Solo, Tommy? If you could tell me the ticker symbol. Oh, Sologenic has now become TX. Okay, is the ticker symbol TX? Like, could I type in TXUSD to go look at it? Let me go look at BHP real quick here, because we did have a request for that came in before you talked about Solo here in TX. BHP looks like that is a stock that's trading on the New York Stock Exchange. BHP is currently trading at $67.37 right now. This is interesting. A lot of gaps in the chart here, where you see you got gap down, and then does barely any trading, and then a gap up, and the gap down, gap down. So the candles aren't really filling each other. That's interesting price action there, I would say. But you are still climbing up and to the right, or you've been doing that up until the end of February here, and then you got to drop off in price here. I think this has something to do with gold and silver and metals have been selling off. This is BHP. Let me look at the description to this stock here. It says BHP engages in the exploration, development, production, and processing of iron ore, coal, and copper. It operates through the following segments: copper, ore, and coal. Okay, I thought it might have been doing gold and silver. Okay, yeah, it does do gold and silver. The copper segment refers to the mining of copper, silver, lead, zinc, uranium, and gold. So yeah, they're mining all kinds of metals. I remember looking at this stock years ago. They've been around for a while now, since 1885. Longer than me and you have all been around, okay? This company is based in Melbourne, Australia. So it's probably not going to go anywhere. We still need metals to do everything that we need to do in everyday life. So I don't think this stock is going to be going, going bankrupt or going out of town, out of business anytime soon here. Unless they do something really stupid, which I highly doubt. This is a pretty big company, right? It's a $1 billion company. I mean, look at the market cap. Yeah, $178 billion of market cap for this company. And you're bullish. Like, you've been bullish. You're above the 200, the 100, the 50, and at one point you were above the 21 exponential moving average up until the end of January. Actually, up until the end of February here. And then all of a sudden you got the sell-off. I'm a little bit curious why the sell-off came just like that, because I know the metals, like I know gold and silver had like a sell-off towards the end of January, but this thing was still climbing all throughout February here, and then it sold off. I think the war in the Middle East, the conflict with the United States, Israel, and Iran, I think that is causing problems here for BHP. Because from what I understand, like when you mine metals, you have to actually use oil, right? Because when you get well, you have to have diesel fuel, right? You have to have diesel fuel for the diesel trucks, because those trucks, they come in and they haul out the metals and all that ore out of there. You gotta gas up those trucks, right? You gotta put diesel fuel in those trucks, and if the price of oil is going up, that actually affects their margins. That affects their the cost of doing business here to get those that metal out of the ground. So that's one of the reasons why this thing has dropped down in price. That would be the first thing I could guess for one of the reasons why this thing has sold off here Basically, as soon as the war in Iran started here, this thing started selling off. Okay. But let's see. If this is gonna be the swing high and this is the swing low, let's do a Fibonacci here. And I'm gonna measure from this low here to this high up above us, and then we got Fibonacci. I know some of you guys might be a little bit thrown off because I do the Fibonacci going the other way most of the time here, but we did have a swing, swing high and swing low here. And for those who are familiar with Fibonacci going the other way, I mean, this is for some guys that like the percentage. This would be a 23% drop from over here. Okay, as far as like the level, like the level in between here, and have levels to look for here. Okay, to the upside, I would see like this 21 EMA sitting at $75 is right near the 0.5 retracement at 74 bucks. So that could be your upside target for the BHP before it probably maybe rolls over down to lower prices if it's not going to be able to sustain itself. And then other levels to look for is the 0.236 here at $78. Could be another level to be looking out for BHP. But I do like the fact that you got above, you're kind of treating the 50-day moving average as support as of now. That's sitting at like $64. I think don't go lower than $64 and you'll be alright, where you can get a bounce, and maybe we can see high prices go back to like 74, 75 bucks here for BHP. I think that's all I'm going to give you for targets to the upside downside. Don't go lower than $64 as of now, and you might see 74, 75 later on in the future here for BHP. But I know this is a stock and it takes some time for things to play out here, but I think those are levels to look for, at least in the near term, near to medium term here. Alright, moving on from BHP, let's go ahead and try to take a look at, we'll take a look at TX, Sol, and then we'll try to look at Power after that. Alright, TX. Is it TX USDT? Let me just double check in the chat here. And it used to be called Sologenic. Huh. Well, what if I type in Sologenic? Would that come up? Does that come up as a ticker? No, I don't really see it coming up here. So it has to be TX, right? TX USDT. Looks like this is trading on MEXC. Let me give it a shot. Is it Quorum? It says Quorum here. Quorum USDT. Is this the crypto that you're looking for? It's trading at 0.011 pennies here. Down 4.5% today. Okay. I'm assuming that this is the crypto that you're looking for. I don't know if this is the price. This is a new crypto tip for me. That's the one? Alright, awesome. So yeah, this thing looks like it's doing a nosedive ever since it started trading on MEXC Exchange. On March 6th, you've been having red, red, red. You only had 2 days of green before you started seeing more red coming in. This thing looks like it's like a falling knife. I would not want to catch a falling knife. I don't know where this thing is going to bottom out at. It hasn't been around long enough to give me any moving averages that will give me some support. Maybe I could look at the 1 hour or the 4 hour chart, but I bet you all the moving averages are above you. Yeah, on the 1 hour chart, all the moving averages are above you. And on the 4 hour chart, you got the 21 EMA, and that one's above you as well. I would just be playing this as a short for now. You can use the 4 hour chart here and the 21 EMA. And every time you come up to the 21 EMA on the 4 hour chart, you just sell. Do a short, do a short on it. Okay? And you get away from it. Maybe you start seeing some green candles showing up, and then you could, exit your short. And then when you come back up to the 21 EMA again, look for another short until something different happens here. Let's see if there's any bullish divergence showing up. If you see bullish divergence, then maybe that would show that buyers are stepping up to the plate. But I don't see any bullish divergence. Kinda. You got an RSI here on Sunday, March 15th at 2106, and then right here on March 17th, 22. So slightly higher low. You're kind of trying to do a bullish divergence here. All right, so you got slightly higher low here. Obviously, lower lows on the price as the price continues going lower. However, this is showing me that buyers are coming in to, I guess they like 1 penny, right? We're getting closer to 1 penny here, and they're willing to take a shot on this at 1 penny here. So maybe this would be the beginning of bottoming out from what I've seen, on other assets. You got to see at least some bullish divergence showing up, and then the next thing I want to see is higher lows. Okay, I don't want to see any more lower lows. I want to see us come up to that 21 EMA, maybe come back down, make a higher low, and then go up to make a higher high, higher than what we did back here on March 18th, and then maybe come back down, make another higher low, and then go up and make a higher high. Okay, I want to see something different here. Okay, maybe this could be the bottom, and you could just add every time you see a higher low form, you add, come back down, add again at the next higher low. Okay, but you want to see something like that in the future here. If this thing does have a future, it is going to go up to higher prices. Other than that, we could come up to this 21 EMA, get rejected, and come right back down, make another lower low again. So I do not want to see that. I guess the next trade to make, I mean, you here, I'm guessing this is the bottom, right? Put your stop loss right below. Make it a little bit loose, or I mean, 1 penny would be like down here. Okay, but if you're not leverage trading it and you're just spot bag trading it, then 1 penny doesn't seem so bad for stop loss. Let's just measure that out here real quick here. If you were to do a stop loss at 1 penny, you'd be risking about 12%. You're risking about 12%. But you're risking 12% to get what? What exactly are you trying to get here? I mean, we did trade sideways here at almost 2 pennies here. So if we go up to 2 pennies, that would be like 100% gain. So you're risking maybe like 12% to try and get 100% gain. That's worth it. That's a good risk-reward ratio. Let me just measure it out here real quick here, show you what that risk-reward ratio would be like if we actually did that. Put the stop loss right at 1 penny here, roughly, and put the take profit at 2 pennies. So it's saying it's about a 76% gain from where we are right now. So you're not going to get that 100% gain because you're not at 1 penny right now. But still, that's a good risk-reward ratio. Your risk-reward ratio is about almost 6 here, 5.9. Anything above 3 is a really good risk-reward ratio. 4 is better than 3. 5 is better than 3. And coming close to like 6 to 1 risk-reward ratio, that's a really good risk-reward ratio. If it plays out that way. There's no guarantee that it's going to play out that way, but I can see why you might be a little bit interested in this crypto if it's going to do something like that. Ducky Glizzy says, "What's my view on Bitcoin?" Bitcoin is still making higher lows. As long as it doesn't go below 67K, I think we'll be all right. If it goes below 67K, then you're not making the higher low argument anymore. Because I think if you do go down to like 65K, I mean, that actually, if you go below 65K, then that's violating the higher low argument. So, right here, we came down to 65K on March 8th. So, if you can stay above 65K, if you come down to 67K, you're still alright. If you come down to like 66K, you're still alright. But if you come down to 65K, I mean, that could be like a double bottom maybe, and that would still be alright. But if you go below 65K, then you're making lower lows on the chart here for Bitcoin. And I think the bears will take that and try to bring it down to lower prices. You do have more support at 63K if we ever do go down to 63K. you could possibly see a bounce off of 63K, because we don't really stay at 63K for too long before we do like a V-shaped recovery out of there. So there are some support levels below us for Bitcoin at 63K and also 67K. I think, you know, Bitcoin could go down to 67K, and that'd be a good area to enter along if that's what you want to do for Bitcoin. We can take a look at power. And I'm supposed to be getting a phone call here, guys. I still have a rental car business that I'm running, and I got a renter that's going to be coming in here soon, renting from me. So I might have to take a phone call and, you know, just do a little intermission, like a 1 or 2 minute break. And then I'll be back with you guys here. But that's when I get the phone call. So far, they haven't called me yet, but they should be in the next 5 to 10 minutes here. It says my friend here just went live, and they want me to co-host with them on TikTok. Let me see if I click that button, what would happen here. Oh, there's a few people here that are live right now. But, you know, I'll leave it alone. If they want to do a co-host with me, then maybe I'll accept the invite. Let's see. NSCM says 50K soon. 50K is a level that I have down here on Bitcoin. If we actually break out of this bear flag, if we lose 63K and lose 60K, 51,900 is the next level that I highlighted on the chart, and that's because, you know, just back to, like, you know, previous price action, just look left. We did see Bitcoin trading at like 51K here back in February of 2024 for a couple of weeks before Bitcoin then went up to higher prices after that. So I think 51K is another support area to look for Bitcoin if we do go down to that level. All right, let's go ahead and try to take a look at power before I have to take this phone call here soon. I am gonna try to continue going live after the phone call, so don't leave me, guys. I promise I'll try to make it short and sweet as best as I can. But for my TikTok guys, you might actually see the live stream get paused while I'm doing that, because I use the phone, and right now my TikTok guys I'm live streaming on my phone right now for TikTok, so you might see me get a pause in the live stream here, but I promise you I'll be back on the live stream real quick. All right, we're looking at power right now. Let's look at power on the daily chart. Oh my God, what happened back here on March 3rd? You dropped like 90% in one day. Yikes! What is that all about? Will someone come take a look at this? What is this all about? Let me get rid of the Fibonacci for now. But yikes, I mean, you were doing something good back here in February, and then on March 3rd, doomsday candle here, down 90% in one day. Yikes. Did like somebody from the project leave? Like, did the founders decide they give up on, you know, working on this coin here? You're at the same price that you were at when this thing was trading on MEXC Exchange back here on December 5th of last year. I don't know what's going to stop the bleeding here. Are you getting bullish divergence on the RSI? No, it looks kind of like flatline. Ugh. Although selling pressure is dying down here, not as vicious as it was in the beginning of March. But man, what the hell happened here with power? Money flow is still in the green now on the daily time frame. That's interesting. You see this money flow is still in the green? That's confusing. Because you obviously dropped down in price, so yet money flows in the green. Probably because it's a brand new coin and doesn't have much data to work with. So it's a little bit messed up here. It's a little janky. But man, oh man, oh man, where could this thing go next? I mean, let's go ahead and turn the VRVP indicator, see if we got any useful information from this. VRVP indicator is this indicator off to the right. It shows you where the majority of people were buying and selling, and it shows that the majority of people were buying and selling at this blue line here. That's your point of control, sitting at 14 cents. And we're below that point of control, and we're also below the value area low, sitting at 11.5 cents. So this thing is extremely undervalued because you're below the value area here. The value area would be the value area low at this white line here, and the value area high would be this other white line, and this is the value area here. You're below that. So, I mean, you can take a chance of trying to buy, and hopefully maybe this thing does a mean reversion back up to at least the point of control sitting at 14 cents, and I think that's about like a 40%, almost a 50% move up in price, and that's a pretty decent gain if you're going to try to bet on this one here, okay? Getting past the point of control is going to be tough. You got a lot of resistance there, but if you get past that point of control, then you might come up to the value area high sitting at 22 cents, and that's where I would take more profit on any longs that I would do here with Power Protocol. But I mean, I can't really give you a target to the downside because, like, you know, don't lose the price that you're at right now, because you could come right back to where you started here on December 5th. This thing was as low as like a half of 5 cents. Yikes. I would say don't lose the levels that you're at right now. So what you can do is, if you wanted to, you know, play, you know, risky, if you wanted to take a risky long here, because you just don't know if we're going to continue going down the lower prices here, but you can stop yourself from losing too much by longing now and then putting the stop loss right below the candlewick low here at 9 cents roughly. And if you get stopped out at 9 cents, that probably means we're not done going down yet. We could probably go a little bit further down. And you have to look at the chart, and hopefully you might see some bullish divergence showing up to like justify getting into a long. But right now, this is like almost like catching a falling knife. This is like almost like TX here, another crypto that's like doing a nosedive here. Let's see. Joris says, "Can I check the 5-minute for a double top on gold?" You want me to look at gold right now? Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at gold. And you want to look at the 5-minute on gold, huh? So you're like, what, you're day trading gold right now. Sounds like it. You said there's a double top? I don't see a double top. Is this the double top you're talking about right here? This possible top right here at 4,663 and looks like another 4,661? Maybe. Maybe that's a double top. 46660. Yeah, maybe it could be a double top. Although you would expect maybe more of a violent rejection off of this level here if this is a double top. I don't know why I picked this as a level here. We did top out here for some reason at 4,663. I mean, that puts you right above this 100 moving average on the 5-minute time frame for gold. I think what could end up happening is if if we're still in an uptrend, which it looks like we are, we could probably pop our head right up to this 200 moving average at 4,675. I would probably look for 4,675 to try to enter a short on gold, or maybe if you're in a long right now, take some profit at 4,675. You're talking about 5-minute time frame. Sometimes I trade on 5-minute time frame. I look at 5-minute time frames for like an entry. I'm assuming you're probably looking for an entry on a short, but you could possibly see this thing come up to that 200 moving average before we end up dropping down. A 200 moving average sitting at 46.75 for gold. We got a request here for Jasmine, and we got another guy asking about MDLZ. Let me go ahead and write these things down. Mangoot says, what do I think about Prosus? I don't know, I never heard of that one. Is that a stock or a crypto? And I know Jasmine's a crypto. I'll write that one down. Guys, I'm expecting a phone call anytime soon here. If my live stream pauses, it's because I'm on the phone. But I'm only going to do that for like a minute or two. And then I should be back with you guys. But just giving you a heads up here. I am expecting a phone call soon here. MDLZ. As a matter of fact, let me just check the messages here real quick. Yeah, like I said, I'm expecting a phone call anytime soon here. But it's only gonna be like I'll be on the call for like a minute, and then I'll be back on the live stream here with you guys. So this is gold on the 5-minute time frame. Could get rejection off the 200 moving average. Somebody spotted a possible double top right now. And if it is going to double top, maybe it comes down to this 50 moving average. You could take some profit at 46.09. And that seems to be like an area where we're trading at sideways for the most part at 46.09. This is what I'd be looking for, taking profit on the short on gold if that's what you want to do here. Let's see what the 50-minute time frame looks like. Yeah, all the moving averages above you on the 50-minute time frame. Looks like gold had a sell-off here this morning here, down to like 4,500 bucks. We actually hit the on gold. We actually hit this 0.382 retracement at 45.31. We actually went a little bit below that. But yeah, I said that if we did drop down here on gold, we could possibly come down to this level here at 4,500 bucks, and we did. That's what we did today. I wasn't sure if 4,700 was going to act as support, but it was a retracement level on the Fibonacci. But obviously, we just sliced right through it. Going into the daily time frame, you can see on the daily time frame there is a 50 moving average here on gold, and that's sitting at about 45.77. So I saw confluence here that you got the 50-day moving average, and you also got the 0.382 saying that 4,500 is where we should get support for gold, and that's what we did today. All right, moving on from gold, let's take a look at Process, and then we'll take a look at Jasmine. Process or Prosper, is that what it's called? This is what I have for it. It's currently trading at 2 pennies right now. We're on the daily chart for it. Wow, this thing is also going down and to the right, losing investors' money here. Great short, I guess, if you want to call it that. It could be a good short. Oh my god, it looks like you had some of your best days here in August of last year when this thing was trading at 27 cents, and then that was the time to enter a short, and then, you know, come on down to low prices here. But yeah, that's all in the past here. You probably want to know what's going on right now for Process. Well, every time you come up to the 21 EMA, it ends up being an issue. You stayed above the 21 EMA here in January, and you were doing all right there when Bitcoin was at 97K, and then you lost it. And then you come up to it again here in February 21st, and you lose it. You get rejected. And you're coming up again here in March 11th, and you're getting rejected. So this 21 EMA is like, you know, that's a good area to try to enter a short if that's what you want to do on this asset here. Until we get above the 21 EMA, it's going to be a problem. It's acting like a bully. It's pushing you back into the locker. It's shoving you into the locker and locking it on you. Get past this bully over here, and then you got the next bully. This is going to be the 3-day moving average sitting at 3 pennies. Okay, if we get up to 3 pennies, you know, you should definitely take profit on any long that you got, because you could get rejected off that 50-day moving average, just like you would be getting rejected off the 21 EMA. Then you got the 100-day moving average above you. All right, but let's see. When's the last time you actually made it up to the 50-day moving average? This green line. Oh my God, you lost it back here in September, and then you never seen the 50-day moving average again. Like, you see that you're doing pretty good here in August, and then you started losing, you know, your momentum, and then you lost the 200-day moving average, that red line, and then you lost the 50 and the 100, and then you came right back up to the 50-day moving average, this green line here, for one day back in September 23rd of last year, and you got rejected, and that was game over for this because you've never been back at that green line again since then. So that green line, you know, if you do get back up to it, I would expect it to push you back down initially before you know, you go up to higher prices here on Prosper. So Prosper, there you go. The 21 EMA is your first target at 0.022 pennies. Is that white line right there? And then 3 pennies is going to be the next target past 0.022 pennies. All right, moving on from Prosper, we'll take a look at Jasmine, and then we got MDLZ after that. We got another request for Velo from El Cordu. All right, write down Velo. MX Laws in the chat here on YouTube. He said you made $500 off of Solana, and you're waiting for some structure now. You almost got liquidated, and you was like 20 cents off. Last 3 days, you got a little bit too greedy. Yeah, we did talk about Solana early in the live stream. I don't know if you're watching, if you're currently watching me right now, or if you're like watching the beginning of the live stream right now. But we were looking at Solana, and Solana could possibly climb up to like $105. Was like the target to the upside. Like maybe later on this month or next month might do that. All right, guys, I'm actually getting that phone call right now, so I am going to have to put this on pause for now, and then just give me a minute or two, and I'll be with you guys. Hold on a second. All right, guys, I'm back with you. Sorry, that took a little bit longer. I thought it was going to take like a minute or two, but the person did have some questions for me, and I had to answer them. But yeah, let's back to we're looking at we were looking at Prosper, but we got to take a look at Jasmine and then MDLX and then Elo. So let's go. Let's get right to it. Back to the requests here. All right, let me see how many TikTok guys. There's 3 of you guys here so far on TikTok. I lost a bunch of people there after I paused the live stream. Sorry about that, but hey, you know, I am a businessman. I am doing multiple things here, live streaming while running a rental car business at the same time. Let's look at Jasmine here. And we see we got Jasmine currently trading at 0.005 pennies, down 3.8% today. Looking at the daily time frame here, unless you want me to get into the smaller time frames here, but Jasmine just trading sideways at this half a penny level here for the most part. Still making higher lows. All right, hopefully this ends up being a little higher low and they can maybe make a higher high. Let's try to get above what we did a couple of days ago here, where we got as high as like 0.0062 pennies here. But I think you might get once again knocked down to lower prices if we do come up to this 50-day moving average sitting at 0.0064 pennies. I'd be looking out for that moving average to provide resistance, and if it doesn't provide resistance, then maybe you can march your way up to the 100-day moving average sitting at 0.0071 pennies here. Let me just double check, make sure that the volume's good here. All right, I can hear myself here. Okay, I actually turned the mic on. That's good. Good job, Damien. You didn't mess that one up. All right. Let's see. So, all right, yeah, I think you still play the moving averages to the upside. 50-day moving average as your first target. 100-day moving average as your second target. And then, just don't know. I mean, are we gonna actually climb our way up to the 200-day moving average, sitting at 0.0885 pennies here? I don't know. But if you do, I mean, it's kind of like confluent with the level where you were trading at here in January. I feel like the people that bought here, you know, I mean, you got to feel a little bit bad for these people that bought here and then seeing this thing drop all the way down to them, you know, to lower prices on them. Like they bought near almost like a penny at 0.009 pennies here, only for this thing to drop down to what, 0.004 pennies? They got like a 50% discount. They got a 50% scare. You know, don't you think they're scared out of their minds and that they might want to actually just break even? So I think if this crypto Jasmine actually climbs back up to like 0.009 pennies here, I think that's going to be where the people that bought here in January that thought they were buying the dip, or maybe they thought like, oh, we're getting a V-shaped recovery out of this thing. Maybe they might want to just get out of Jasmine altogether, or maybe they take a little bit off the table and de-risk at 0.009 pennies. But I think as they are de-risking and breaking even, you should also be considering taking profit, because that's probably going to be where the 200-day moving average is at, lining up right with those people that bought back here in January for Jasmine. So yeah, that's my idea, right, for taking profits here for Jasmine. Downside targets, I don't think there's too much downside here besides you know, maybe you could come down to this low here on March 2nd at 0.0051 pennies here. You could probably put your stop loss right below that, and if you get stopped out, okay, it means that Jasmine's probably on its way down to lower prices. If you're not able to hold here, I think you know, you can put your stop loss really tight there, or maybe you want to put your stop loss a little bit loose. Maybe you're doing leverage trading and you want to put it right below at 0.0044 pennies here. Okay. But if we come down here and you get stopped out, then guess what? This thing probably does want to come down to lower prices. And do you want to stick around and find out how much lower it can go? Probably not. That's why I would put the stop loss at 0.044 pennies and then just call it a day. And if you get stopped out, you get stopped out. It's whatever. It's not working out. And not every trade is going to be a winner. Okay, not every investment is going to be a winning investment. Okay, but right now I think, you know, you can put your stop loss. You know, I still got the date. The day trader in me tells me like I don't want my stop loss any lower than this higher low here at 0.0051. Okay, Okay, but if I was just in spot bags and I had a lot of conviction in this cryptocurrency, I'd probably put the stop loss right below this low here, 0.0044 pennies, and then just hope that, you know, it plays out to the upside. If not, then, you know, it's just not working. Probably need to move on to something else. All right, and that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna take a look at MDLZ, and then we're gonna look at the Velo. Mondelez International, is this a stock? I'm assuming it's a stock because that's exactly what came up. I didn't have to type in any cryptocurrency suffix like USD or USDT. But this thing is trading at $56.49, up 0.04%. And sure enough, you know, we had you know, back here on January 8th was the lowest you could get this stock over the last 2 months here. And then yeah, like kind of like a V-shaped recovery. Yeah, I would call that a V-shaped recovery. We just came in and you climbed and climbed and climbed, but then when you got up to that 200-day moving average, it was a problem. It was a problem. And then you came down and you back tested it one more time, and then it became a problem again. So the 200-day moving average is preventing you from going up to higher prices here on this stock here. And I think you still play the moving averages here. Right now, the 50-day moving average is right above you, right above your head at $57.06. I would be on the lookout for that, see if we're actually going to climb above it. If not, then maybe this thing ends up doing like a round trip on you, down to like 51 bucks all over again. And then maybe we'll take a look to see if we make a higher low here, or if we make a double bottom at like $51. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully this is as low as it goes here. March 12th we came down as low as $54. You could work with that, make a higher low and go up to higher prices. If not, then, you know, maybe this thing does do a round trip down to 51 bucks. I don't even know what this thing does. It's in consumer non-durables, food, specialty candy. What? Is this a candy store company? It says Mondelez International engages in the manufacture of snack food and beverages. Its products include biscuits, beverages, chocolate, gum and candy, cheese and groceries, and meals. Okay, so they sell food, so they're not going to be going out of business unless they, you know, sell garbage food or something. Right? It'd be really hard for them to do that. This is a recession-proof stock, I would say, because everybody needs to eat, right? So you always have business. You always have people looking for snacks, unless people get really healthy and they decide that they don't want to eat chocolate anymore and candy. Then maybe the business suffers because of that. But I'm just zooming out here. Let me get rid of some of the DeluxeAlgo stuff here. I want to clean up the chart a little bit. But let's just zoom out here. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Since like 2009, ever since like the recession of 2009, right? The great financial crisis, whatever you want to call it. This thing has been up and to the right, 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 up and to the right. But now it looks like you're kind of creating a downtrend ever since the beginning of May of 2023. Something happened here where we're making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, as well as making lower lows here on the weekly chart. So I don't know what's going on here, but maybe they can pull the, you know, turn themselves around and actually go up to higher prices. Maybe you're getting an opportunity to buy this stock at lower prices compared to what you would have got, you know, a few months ago. But yeah, this thing, I don't know. I don't like the downtrend that you're starting to form here. It could be a buying opportunity, but I don't know. I would have to do more research on this. Looks like they do all kinds of. They have all kinds of brands here. They have Honey Maid, Cadbury. I think I've heard of Cadbury chocolate. All the name brands are right here. That's interesting. So yeah, I would have to do more research on this, but I mean, I would think this is a winner because you are over the long term going up and to the right. right? Just like Bitcoin, right? In the long term, Bitcoin does go up in price. And this stock right here looks like it does go up in price as well, if you give it enough time. We got Jay in the chat. Jay says, "Yo, Damien, AMPX and iron, please." All right, we gotta take a look at Velo, and then maybe I'll might make those the last 2 requests for today. Thank you for coming in the chat, Jay. Good to see you. I am gonna try to go live again next Monday and Tuesday. Tomorrow is gonna be tough for me to do. I don't plan on doing a live stream tomorrow. And I usually don't go live during the weekends either. So Monday and Tuesday, probably around this time, or maybe I might do an early afternoon stream. I don't know. But you guys can keep up with the updates as like what I decided to do here by following me here on Twitter. I do have a Meet Damien Twitter here. You can follow me and you'll see when I go live. I post up the live stream announcements there, and then also the Meet Damien Discord channel, which is free to join. Link is in the description to that YouTube video that you're watching. All right, and that's how you can stay in touch and know what's going on. But right now, I can just tell you, like, I probably won't go live again until Monday or Tuesday, cause I'm getting ready to go to Costa Rica, guys, by the 1st of April. I'm gonna be taking off in an airplane, going to San Jose, Costa Rica. And you'll see me doing live streams down there in Costa Rica for like the next 3 months. Like a 3-month sabbatical. And I'll try to do more content. I'll probably be doing live streams like in the morning and in the evening. And then, if I got time, I'll probably do some YouTube shorts and stuff like that. And some TikToks. But yeah, you'll see more of me in April, May, and June. And for those 3 months there, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how that. Hopefully, I don't burn myself out. Let's go ahead and take a look at MDLZ. Wait, we already did look at MDLZ. We gotta take a look at Velo, and then we gotta take a look at AMPX after that. All right, so let's look at Velo. Velo the crypto or Velo the stock? Because there's 2 of them. I'm gonna assume you want to look at Velo the crypto, because I do get requests for cryptocurrencies a lot, but I don't know. You tell me if you're still in the chat here. All right, El Curto says crypto. All right, so we're looking at Velo the crypto. Thank you for the clarification. Sometimes you never know, like especially with something like Velo. Velo could be like short for like velocity, and I'm pretty sure there's a velocity stock out there, a company named Velocity out there somewhere. Anyways, looking at Velo the crypto, currently trading on KuCoin at 0.0038 pennies, down 15% today. We're looking at the weekly chart. Let's look at the daily chart here. Daily chart, I mean, we've seen better days here in 2025, July of 2025. We were as high as like 2 pennies on this, just to give you some reference here. And we're treating this as this thing is in a bear market, okay? You're below the 200, the 100, and the 50. And at times you were below the 21 EMA, but looks like you did get above the 21 EMA, so that's the start of doing something good and special here. Where, I know there's other cryptocurrencies out there that have got above the, or trying to get above the 21 EMA, but this one is showing you what could be possible here. If you get above the 21 exponential moving average, this white line, and you continue using it as support and you don't lose it, look what happens next. Then you start making your way up to the 50-day moving average, which I know we looked at other assets earlier today, and we were like, if we can stay above the 21 EMA, we could probably go up to the 50-day moving average. And this one already did it, right? This one is like ahead of the pack right now as far as trying to get up to the 50-day moving average. So that 50-day moving average sitting at 0.0051 pennies, acted as resistance on March 18th, which was what, yesterday? And yeah, you're getting rejected, and now might be a time to maybe entertain the idea of trying to long Velo here. Maybe you put your stop loss below the 21 EMA, because it looks like as of now we're staying above the 21 EMA. So if you put your stop loss below the 21 EMA, it shouldn't stop you out unless something really bad is happening here and we do, come down to low prices here. But maybe if you're patient, you can wait until we do come down to the 21 EMA, sitting at 0.03036 pennies here. Try to buy there, and then you put your stop loss really tight below the 21 EMA, maybe below one of these candle wick lows here,
okay? And you're just going to watch your trade, make sure it doesn't get stopped out, and then maybe you start seeing this thing shoot up to higher prices one more time to try to challenge that 50-day moving average one more time at 0.0051 pennies. Okay, so right, buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. If for some reason you're not able to, if you're patient and this thing decides to just tomorrow do Uno reverse and just go right back up to that 50-day moving average, then you could try to maybe look for a short at that 50-day moving average sitting at 0.0051 pennies. Put the stop loss right above, maybe conservatively you put it above the 100-day moving average. But somewhere maybe like 0.0053 pennies here, and try to short that 50-day moving average one more time, and then see if you're able to see this thing drop down. Of course, it's not going to drop down. Probably it's not going to drop down as low as it did today, because it likes to play games here where, it will drop down, maybe make a higher low, then the longs start coming in and pushing the price back up again. But that's an idea here for Velo as far as like trading this, right? Sell high, short the 50-day moving average, buy low, buy the 21 exponential moving average. Rinse and repeat, and hopefully you're able to make some money just going back and forth like that. Jay says, why not Nicaragua? I mean, it's right next door. Maybe I do, do a day trip or whatever and go to Nicaragua for like a day or two, maybe a weekend, and then come back to Costa Rica. I would need a good reason. I probably wouldn't want to go by myself. Probably would want to see if maybe someone else wants to go. I do got a friend of mine down in San Jose, Costa Rica, so I won't be like completely by myself down there. So I look forward to seeing him. And, if he wants to go to Nicaragua, then maybe we both go. Yeah. Yeah, Nicaragua is very big. And I never been to Nicaragua, so I would want to go I would at least want to go with somebody else besides myself. My Spanish is okay. It's not the best, My Español is no bueno. Or, or my Español is malo. But, I will probably be getting better with my Spanish while I'm down there. Yeah, so another thing I need to do is go on Duolingo and just start learning as much as I can as far as Spanish. But one of the reasons why I like Costa Rica is because there's a lot of other Americans out there, and they do teach English, I believe, in like high school before a lot of the Costa Rican students graduate. However, the problem is that if they don't use it right away, they end up losing all the English that they learn. Although I've been to Costa Rica myself 4 times already, and this would be my 5th time. And I noticed that the older people there, like people my age, and even older than that, like people that are in their 30s and 40s and 50s, they can speak English sometimes well, and they know it better than the 20-year-olds is what I could tell you that. But some of the 20-year-olds, if they get a job working at like a hotel, or if they get a job working at like a restaurant or a bar where they're dealing with a bunch of Americans and Canadians and stuff like that, then their English ends up being all right because of that, because they're always talking to the customers and speaking English and practicing their English. Test DNA Mobile says shorting crypto makes more money. Probably during in a bear market it does that for you, but you have to know what you're doing when you're shorting too, because you can also lose money too. Let's see. You said use TikTok as your indicator. Take the average pumpers, buy short positions for every TikTok pumper. That's now you're trying to trade sentiment. That's one way to trade sentiment. If you see someone pumping a crypto or a stock, and it looks like it might be overdone, then that might be a good time to enter a short. So that's what you're doing right there. And that's one way to make money too. So we just looked at Velo, and we got to take a look at for Jay. We got to take a look at AMPX. Jay, what do you suggest? You got a suggestion here for me, huh? What do you think? Jay, are you on the Discord? You should come join the Meet Damien Discord if you haven't done so already, and send me your thoughts over there. You can also message me there on Discord as well in the private messages. Let's see. We gotta look at AMPLX, right? That's the one that we're gonna look at. AMPLX. Empress Technologies on the New York Stock Exchange. All right, we're looking at Empress Technologies, currently trading at $19.11, up 1.1% today. Not too bad, I guess. You know, it's better than being in the red, right? Oh, you've requested a stock before because I have previous chart work here from previous Fibonacci. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Did we actually hit? Oh, we actually hit the 1618. We hit the 1618 on this one already at 18 bucks. So I guess this played out, right? Maybe I'll keep that there. I'll just leave that there for now. But Empress, have you ever been this high before? You kind of did. Looking left, we did trade as high as 26 bucks on September of 2022. But you never been back to that level before, so that's interesting. We actually are back to where we were in 2022 here. So what's next? I mean, if we have the Fibonacci that we used before, we drew a fib from $6.79 here, okay? Which I think was like, yeah, we came down to that level about like September of last year. And I drew this Fibonacci up to, I'm curious now, what did I draw this up to? Like 1411? But like, why did I pick 1411? I think that was the high back here in October. And, okay, yeah, so we hit the 1272. Alright, so yeah, I probably drew this back in October of last year. We came up to like 1407 on October 7th. And then we went past that. We hit the 1272 at $16.10 here, like a few days later on October 15th. Okay. And then now here we are going up to the 1618 at $18, and we did that a few months later. Took us some time, but we did finally hit it. And there looks like there's a 2618 at $25. That could be the next target to the upside here for Empress if we're still using this Fibonacci here. So I'll be marking down the chart here. Let me go ahead and do that. See if we actually do hit that later on this year. 25.94. We'll just be on the lookout for that 25.90 right there. We'll see if we actually climb up and hit that. But I think that'd be another target to the upside here. However, I should probably just measure from here to here and see what we got for Fibonacci targets. Yeah, it's saying like, you know, 26 bucks, somewhere around there should be a target to the upside. Now you got a 1272 at 22.69. That could be a medium to short-term target here. $22.69. Of course, 69. They got to put that in there, right? All right, but yeah, those are your targets to the upside, and then downside. If we are going to go down to lower prices here, you do got your 21 EMA sitting at 14.66. That's confluent with this 0.5 retracement as of now. Okay, but a normal pullback should take you down to that golden pocket here at 15.78 and 16 bucks. So I'd be looking for that on any pullbacks here. Anywhere between like 14 to 15 bucks is where I'd be looking for a pullback and adding to your position there on Empress Technologies. Alrighty. Let's take a look at what was the other one? Iran. Let's take a look at Iran. And then what is Jay saying here in the chat? He says the weekend won't be enough. You need to get out to watch a movie. I don't have any recommendations for movies. I really don't watch too many movies myself. I usually just watch whatever I can find on like Netflix or Amazon Prime or something like that. I don't really watch too many movies these days myself. I just stay too busy. My life is a movie. How about that? No, that's That sounds like very egotistical if I said that. But sometimes my life could be like a movie. How about that? Can we go with that? Sometimes my life could be like a movie. So why do I need to watch a movie? I just gotta watch myself. I'm like, let's see. We gotta take a look at Iran, and I think that's gonna be it for the request today. And then I gotta get back to the rest of my life here. Iran currently trading at $41.66 here, down 1.3% today. Iran, what are you doing? Well, we kind of like game plan things out here. If you came up to that golden pocket, it'd be like a 22% move up in price from like a few days ago. Iran looks like, I mean, as long as you're staying above the 200-day moving average at 37.55, I think you'll be all right. That's also right where that 0.32 retracement's at too. So stay above $37, and I think it'll be all right for Iran. If not, I mean, you could go down to lower prices, and if you go down to lower prices, where could you go? There's a 0.236 at $28 here. I'm trying to see if there's any confluence by looking left here. I mean, there's some sideways trading here at like 26, 27 bucks here. But I'm a little bit curious. Let me zoom out here. Let's throw on that handy dandy, powerful VRVP indicator here. See what it has for volume nodes here. There is a big high volume node here at $18, or around between 18 and 19 bucks here. Then you get the value area low sitting at about $27, right where that 0.236 retracement at. I think $26, $27 is your downside targets for Iran in the short to medium term here. And then upside targets, if this thing can catch some bids here, you got to get past 48 bucks. Get past 48 bucks, and then it becomes a little bit easier to go up to higher prices here. You got the golden pocket at $52. That's also kind of like a high volume here. High volume at 58 bucks. Some more high volume at $62, kind of sort of. And the volume drops off again here, and you won't get much resistance until you get up to this value area high, sitting at like $75.90. Which is about as high as where Iran got back here in November of last year. So go ahead and mark that on the chart here, or you can just rewatch this live stream one more time for your targets, the upside, using this VRVP indicator here. Then of course, you know, if you're just a moving average guy, you do got your moving averages above you sitting at like 45 bucks and 47 bucks. I think, yeah, you'll probably have a problem right here at the golden pocket level is probably going to be where you're going to get resistance in the near term to medium term here. Probably like later on, you know, I'm not sure, maybe later on this month or next month. You can see $50 Iran, and that's going to be an issue. It's going to probably trade sideways there for a while before you go up to higher prices or get knocked down to lower prices. I'd be looking for this golden pocket right there. Jay says, can I zoom out on AMPX if I don't mind? We just looked at AMPX, but what was it that you want to look at? Is there anything in particular, or you just wanted me to give you my insights by zooming out? On the weekly time frame, kind of like almost like maybe like a cup and handle. I don't want to get rid of my Fibonacci's here, but you know, this could be like one big giant cup, and then maybe we make a handle at some point here. But this is data going all the way back to like October of 2022. The lowest point here was September 2024, and then you've been climbing up into the right since then. Yeah, it could be a cup and handle, a very long-term cup and handle pattern. Maybe that handle gets formed when we hit 25, 26 bucks, and then we come back down again, make a higher low at 19 or 20 bucks, and then shoot up to higher prices after that. Oh, you want me to take a look at the volume profile? All right, let's see what the VRVP indicator has to say. Going back to like 4 years ago, this is how much data we're using here. And most of the volume, majority of people that bought AMPX, they bought it at this blue line, the point of control, sitting at $2. There is a high volume node here at $7, which is, I think, you know, could be a low point. if we ever do go down to that price, it would hurt, but there is support there. This is also some more support here at the value area high, sitting at $11. You got all this volume here between like 10.75 and 12.50, and then the volume starts dropping off here. We don't really have that much volume, but we're kind of building up a little bit of a volume node here at like between like $17 and $19 on MEXC. So maybe this could be a support zone in the future. Maybe we do climb up to $26 and then we come back down to $19. Make that cup and handle pattern before we go up and launch up to higher prices. Oh man, that's it for today, guys. Let me just look at Bitcoin one more time on the way out. I like to see the 1 hour chart before I go. See what could happen in the next 12 hours here. 12 to 24 hours. On the 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin, we see that Bitcoin's at 70,400. We did do a nice little scare here early this morning where we dropped down to like 68,700. Bitcoin coming up to this 21 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. Let's see if we can hold that as support. It's sitting at 70,100. Maybe if you want to day trade this, you can put your stop loss below this and then make our way back up to that 200 moving average. That 200 moving average sitting at 71,800. Could be where we get knocked down initially. What is the momentum looking like for the 1 hour time frame here for Bitcoin? Let's look at the MACD indicator. Buying pressure is coming in, and it's been coming in since 12 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time here. So it looks like Bitcoin does want to continue climbing up to higher prices here. I don't see anything that's going to stop it for now. And then let's look at the money flow. What is money flow doing here? Money flow is in a negative on the 1 hour time frame, but you get a green buy dot here at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Right now it's 6:15 p.m. Eastern time here. And if money flow keeps creeping up, you will see Bitcoin go up to higher prices as well. But this is tough being this much in the negative here. If we start seeing money flow go green, then you will see maybe you'll see 72, 73k, 74k, somewhere around there. But yeah, I think Bitcoin is trying to climb back up, but we might be making a lower high when we hit these moving averages on the 1 hour time frame. 200 moving average is at 71,800, then you got 72.2, and then you got 72.7. I think this is where you should take some profit on your day trading if you're day trading and long in Bitcoin right now. Alrighty. That's it for today, guys. I will try to go live again on Monday or Tuesday, maybe around the same time, or maybe earlier. Just be on the lookout to find out when exactly I do go live. Sometimes I do early afternoon streams. Sometimes I do late afternoon streams. But anywhere between like 12 to 4 p.m. is when I usually get started on these live streams here. So we'll try to go live on Monday. If not, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Take care and good luck trading in whatever investment you decide to get into, guys. Take care, guys. And have a good weekend. Let's get ready for the weekend. It's almost here. I see you had a request for ICP, but I was planning on ending the live stream. Let's plan on looking at that on Monday or Tuesday for the next live stream.